the grove where she waited. She came to the woods each year when the lilacs began to bloom. The same grove, hidden deep behind the stream, down a slope where ferns grew tall and soft underfoot. It was always quiet there, the kind of quiet that wrapped around your skin like silk. She would sit beneath the old birch, fingers trailing the moss beside her, eyes half closed, waiting. He didn't know she was real. He had heard stories. Of course, the boys in the village spoke of a woman with golden skin and bare feet who lived with the trees. But they always laughed when they said it, as if believing in her made you weak, as if desire itself was something to be ashamed of. But he believed. He believed in warmth. He believed in the way the air shifted when you were wanted. And something inside him, something quiet and small, had always felt her calling. The first time he saw her, it was early morning. Mist still clung to the roots, and the sun hadn't yet climbed above the treetops. She was sitting on a fallen log, knees tucked beneath her, her hair wild and damp from the night. She didn't look at him at first. She let him see her slowly, as if revealing herself was a gift. He stood there for what felt like hours, unsure whether to speak. But she smiled, just slightly, and turned her head toward him. The moment hung in the air between them, trembling like a spider's thread. Then she beckoned him closer. He stepped forward, and the world shifted. He remembered the texture of moss beneath his boots, how the scent of damp leaves wrapped around them. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was quiet and low, like something pulled from the soil. She asked him why he had come, and he, not knowing what to say, told her the truth. He had dreamed of her, not her body, not at first, but the shape of her in the dark, the idea of someone waiting just for him. He told her how he woke every morning aching, and how he'd go to the stream and pretend to gather water just so he could be alone in the woods. She touched his hand, lightly, without pressure. Her fingers were cold at first, but they warmed quickly. He looked down and saw the most pressed between them, green and soft and damp. Her thumb traced a line across his knuckles. She leaned in. There was no rush, no heat behind it, just closeness, just breath. He didn't even realize they were kissing until her lips moved against his slow. Curious. His hands found her waist, then her back, her shoulder blades. She smelled of cedar and wet bark, of crushed leaves and rain. She guided him downward, onto the moss, her knees on either side of him, her palms firm against his chest. The forest held its breath. His heart beat against her hand like a drum. She kissed his throat, his jaw, his chest. He tried to speak but forgot what language was. She smiled against his skin. Their clothes came away like petals. Not torn, not flung, just removed, gently, purposefully, the way you'd unwrap something precious. His fingers learned the curve of her hip, the dip of her spine. She touched him with reverence, not urgency. They moved together slowly, their bodies speaking long before their mouths did. The light changed above them, dappled gold through the leaves. The moss cradled them like a bed made by the earth itself. Every sound felt louder. Every sigh, every breath. They didn't speak. There was nothing to explain. When she finally took him inside her, it was like coming home. A warmth so deep it made his eyes close. She moved like she knew him already, like she had always known him. He held her hips and kissed her mouth and let go of the shame he'd carried for so long. He had always been too soft, too dreamy, too much. But here, with her, in this sacred place, he was exactly right. They moved together until the tension dissolved, until the pleasure crested and pulled them both under. He heard her moan, low and open, and felt himself dissolve into her, into the moss, into the moment. After, they lay side by side, their bodies still touching at the hip and shoulder. The forest returned to itself. The breeze picked up again. A bird called out somewhere far away. She looked at him. Her fingers trailed his chest, and she said, very simply, "You can come back." When the lilacs bloom again? He nodded. He didn't know if she was a spirit, or just a woman who knew the forest better than he ever would. It didn't matter. What mattered was how he felt now. Worthy, desired, real. And as he dressed and walked back toward the stream, most still clinging between his fingers, he understood something for the first time. Somewhere in the world, someone could be waiting for you. And they won't ask you to be anyone else, but exactly who you already are.